What do you like now?
It's on now with it. Well, this is a song, I don't know who wrote this either, but it's a song about the one-sided town of Loughglynn, they call it. So I'm going to sing it, and I hope, Eamon, when you listen to it, you'll be very proud of your father. I might sing like Jack Dempsey and there'll be a fight like John McConnell.
Right? You're okay, yeah.
Many years since I left dear old Ireland to travel far over the foam, to toil in the land of the stranger, far away from my own native home. Those memories of childhood I cherish, though I never will wander again to the cave on the hill of Clonbunny, near that one-sided town of Loughglynn. I remember each bright Sunday morning as we gathered around at the cross, awaiting the toll of a handbell. 'Twas a signal to enter for Mass. Well, that old church is vanished forever, and I have never ventured within the new church that now has replaced it in that one-sided town of Loughglynn. I remember the forge by the corner where we gathered around at the door to watch the sled strike on the anvil and the sparks bouncing over the floor. And as oft times I blew on that bellows while the blacksmith did whistle and sing, as he forged out a loy for a hard-working boy in that one-sided town of Loughglynn. Well, those 50 long years now have vanished, and their memories to me are still plain, as the day when I went a bird nesting in the flaggers around the main drain. I can hear old McGann with that sweet mellow voice as the colleen jas he did sing. 'Twas the rose of Tralee or the banks of the Lee at the Christmas pig fair in Loughglynn. But alas, what a change now came over our land. England sent over a murderous band to torture the old and to plunder their homes and to murder the youth of our land. Well, those were just babies when I sailed away, but today they are patriot men. There was Berrigan, McDermott and Shannon, Keane, Carty, Laffy and Glen. They fought and they died on that woody hillside near that one-sided town of Loughglynn. Well, the youth of today that is true to that cause, and they've sworn that never again will the Union Jack fly where our brave heroes died on that woody hillside near the one-sided town of Loughglynn. That's it.
Well done.
Very nice.
Well
Very
done.
good song.
No,
Yeah.
he don't know, he says, who wrote it. But he says, when I came from England, he says, there was an old case in Dashik, you know, in his
Yeah.
mother's house, at his house, I suppose now. He's gone now himself, but he said there was and he says, I opened it one day, he said, and that song was in it. And he says, my mother said someone sent it from America. But he says, then there was a man I knew him in Northampton now, he used to write.
But that man was Rafferty.
That was Rafferty.
And he sang that in
sang
McGarry's and
Ballaghaderreen. Yes, and he could
about
sing.
1950.
You'd love to hear him singing. No, that was only about 10 years ago.
All right.
Yeah. But I had worked with him, but I had never heard the song until he sung it. But you often hear the one side of the town, like the one side of the town of Loughglynn, was a saying they had. And when he sung that song, it brought me back to Ireland's Own. I do get it every weekend. I used to get it in England, and it's a pamphlet that's wrote here for over 100 years. A little
Booklet.
But anyway, It's a magazine, you could call it indeed for that matter. But I was reading in it some years ago, and this Donald McImlow, Danny Macaulay was his name in English, and he used to work on the buildings. He was a labourer, but he was a great writer and a great Gaelic speaker, and he wrote a lot of books, and he wrote what he called the Leaves of a Working Man's Diary, and it was every week there'd be another page. He'd write it for and went on for nearly 6 to be continued on. But in that I was reading it one day, and I seen where he said he was in Kilkelly. He was from Craig's, that's up here at the northern Galway and Roscommon.
Yeah.
And he said he was in Kilkelly, he was home on holidays, and he was in a pub in Kilkelly, and he says he heard a man singing the one-sided town of Loughglynn, and he said, I never knew there was such a song, and he said, I never heard a better singer, and that was me. So when Mick Rafferty sung it, I was telling about this, that was me. He says, because I'm the only one that knows that song, he says.
Yes.
And he said, I sung it in Kilkelly, and he said, there was a lot of people in it, he says, and I was asked to sing that song. He says, by a person that knew I knew it, he says. And I sung, so he says, it was me he heard singing it. So it must be, because he said he was, and he was a terrific singer. Like, you know.
Yeah.